No, we don't. We find the solution. So we're going to practice doing that right now. I have on this sheet, kind of pass them around, several different scenarios, several different common questions or comments that kids say when we say, will you go to camp with me? And those are, my friends aren't going, I don't have enough money, or my parents can't afford it, I need to work this summer. My parents won't let me go because they don't trust Young Life. My parents won't let me go because they don't trust me. I am grounded for life. I don't want to miss sports camps, lifting. I don't want to be away from my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whatever. So here's what I want you to do. In groups of 5, I want you to take the top 3. You guys can be a group of 5 here and can take, or I mean the top 2, I'm sorry. You guys can take the middle 2. You can take the bottom 2. See what I'm talking about? Top 2 slides for you, the middle 2 slides for you, the bottom 2 slides for you, the bottom 2 slides for you guys kind of get together a little bit, the middle 2 slides for some of you together, and the top 2 slides for you guys back there, and you can be anywhere, Daniel. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes, and seriously, everybody look at me for just a second. These are real excuses or whatever that kids give, and I want us to be challenging and find a solution to them. What are we going to do? What are we going to say? Go ahead, break up. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Did you have trouble coming up with solutions? No, it was actually, you guys had some pretty good solutions, didn't you? I could hear you talking. I'm not going to have us go, if we had more time, I'd have you go through and we could kind of collaborate and share some of the solutions for each one of these. And that would be helpful, and maybe you could get together and do that as an exercise with your team a little bit later on before you go into asking, is to come up with some solutions. I think that would be a real healthy thing. But here's more of my point. If you really start thinking about a solution to their no, you realize there are some good solutions. So never take no as a final answer, okay? I say never. There are times when you will talk about it. One of the things we need to do when a kid tells us no is find the real reason for the no. And that means reading between the lines. Sometimes that means asking a kid and knowing a kid. Sometimes that means asking a first-timer or a second-timer. A kid may say, no, I'm not going, I just don't want to go. My friends aren't going. And then you find out later that really the reason is money. Well, money is one of the easiest things to take care of. I mean, I will tell you, you can find some donor somewhere that says, if money's keeping this kid from going, here's the check. There are people out there that are willing to do that. But if you take this kid's first reason as, no, my friends aren't going, you'll never know that, will you? So you have to dig deeper. Sometimes it's asking a parent. There are times when I know the parents well enough to where I'll say, it seems like Bill would want to go. Well, and he's not really giving me a reason. Do you know why? And then the parent will share a reason. Sometimes it's something we can deal with. I had one kid that said, she kept saying no, and she kept saying no, and she wouldn't give me a reason. I said, would you just give me at least a reason? And she said, and her name was Peggy, and she said, it's because Mom won't let me go. And I said, well, have you asked her? And she said, well, no, I really haven't asked her, but I know she won't let me go. And I said, I will not ask you again. I will not bother you anymore if you would just promise me that you'll ask your mom if you can go. And I'd bothered her enough, and so she felt like that was a fair bargain. So she said, okay. And the next day, the next time I saw her, which was the next day, she said, can you believe it? My mom said I could go. And I go, well, imagine that, you know. I got to tell you, I was praying real hard between one time and the other, because I go, man, that's, I don't know, maybe if I should have said it like that. But the truth is, we've got to get to the real reason. Another way we can get to the real reason is to ask God. Oh, you mean God will tell us? Yeah, sometimes He will. Justin Campbell, who's doing another seminar somewhere, if you go to his later on, it's real good. A good friend of mine had this girl that his whole team was pursuing to go and to camp. And she didn't go her sophomore year, and she didn't go her junior year, and it drove everybody nuts. And it drove Justin nuts because he just loved her. He just loved this girl. And so he was praying. He said, God, why is she not going? Because she comes to Club, Lord. And he felt like the Lord said, quietly, and it wasn't audible, but kind of in his spirit, she doesn't want to go because she's afraid she will go and not change. Justin goes, oh. So the next day he went up to her and he handed her the camp application thing, had it all filled out. I mean, he was going to make it as easy as possible on her. And he looked at her and he said, I'm going to ask you just this once, and I'm not going to ask you anymore because you know we've asked you a lot and I don't want to bug you. But when I ask you, I want to say two things. One, we all love you and we just want you to go. And two, if you go to camp, you will change. And this girl who had said no dozens of times, the very next day came and handed Justin the application, and not just the deposit, but the full amount. Said, I'm going. Kid came to Christ. Ask God, and He will tell you some things. Ask Him and expect Him to give you strategies. He's into that. He will do that. And if you don't hear a strategy, don't think you're, not in tune with God. You're playing in tune with God, but give Him the chance to speak. Don't close off your ears in case He wants to speak. Also, don't assume that no means no. I had one girl who came into a club, and she came skipping in the club, and she said, well, my mom said I can't go to camp, and she was almost kind of happy about it. And what I figured out was that she just wanted us to pursue her. She just wanted us to ask her 2 or 3 or 4 times. And so we did pursue her, and, well, okay, I guess I can. I mean, no kidding. Sometimes no is like the little girl that's hiding behind the sofa saying, Daddy, you can't find me. Oh, aren't we all like that sometimes? We want God to find us. And I want to open you guys up to the possibility and maybe the reality that kids are playing that same game with us that they ultimately are playing with God. They're acting like they're hiding from God, but they desperately want to be found. So sometimes a no, in this case, means, yeah, pursue me. Sometimes no means not no, but I'm afraid. Figure that out. Help them overcome their